Imagine hitting submit on a credit application. You have an 800 FICO score, 0 missed payments, and a 6-figure income. But before you can even blink, the screen flashes, declined. For decades, credit approvals ended with a pristine FICO score. Today, the process only begins there. Behind that door, an entirely separate surveillance network takes over. This automated gating mechanism intercepts your data and searches for anomalies before a human underwriter is ever notified. We are going to look at the 3 invisible tripwires that trigger these automated rejections and map out the exact protocols you can use to bypass them. Once you understand the architecture of this hidden underwriting system, you stop relying on perfectly timed applications and start forcing the algorithm to approve you. The first trap catches applicants completely off guard because it has absolutely nothing to do with your credit history. It is an identity mismatch flag. LexisNexis calculates a fraud point score by aggregating public records, DMV registries, and addresses to verify your identity. If a clerk spelled your street name differently on a utility bill, an outer data node fails to match. The algorithm immediately flags the application and locks it down. To clear this trap, you execute a data sync dispute. By legally freezing your LexisNexis consumer file, you block the algorithm from pulling that conflicting secondary data in the first place. If the flag has already been tripped, you override the automated system by uploading a recent utility bill directly to the issuer's fraud department. This replaces the algorithmic check with hard physical proof of your address. Modern identity verification is strictly a data matching problem. Align those data points, and you clear the first major gate in the underwriting process. The second trap trips when you try to open multiple accounts too quickly. The industry calls this a velocity spike. The automated system interprets frequent applications as evidence of bust-out fraud, a pattern where a borrower racks up debt immediately before defaulting. When you hit this wall, stop applying for new accounts. Instead, use the reallocation maneuver. Call the bank and ask them to move a portion of your existing credit limit to the new card, reassigning debt they've already approved, rather than asking for more money. By shifting your existing risk profile, you successfully bypass the algorithm's hard cap on maximum extended credit. The bank grants you the new account without requiring a fresh underwriting approval. The third trap ensnares freelancers, gig workers, and those with thin credit files. It centers entirely on your debt-to-income ratio, or DTI. If your monthly debt obligations exceed 36% of your gross income, you are kicked out of the automated fast lane. You enter the manual review slow lane, which usually demands weeks of back-and-forth emails, physical W-2s, and pay stubs. Do not engage with the manual document upload process. You can override it using financial technology APIs. By linking your bank account through an API service, you bypass the human underwriter, piping 24 months of verified cash flow data straight into the decision engine. The algorithm calls this day one certainty, analyzing real-time deposits to mathematically prove your ability to pay and forcing an instant approval. Proving your income to a modern bank does not require earning a human underwriter's trust. It requires feeding verified, machine-readable data directly into their algorithm. Even with perfectly formatted data, the algorithm might still issue a hard denial. When that happens, you receive an adverse action notice in the mail. Under the Equal Credit Opportunity Act, banks must disclose the exact reason for rejection. This letter identifies the specific data point you need to challenge. You take that reason and dial the issuer's unadvertised reconsideration line. This is a direct backdoor to a human credit analyst who actually has the power to overturn the machine. When they answer, quote the exact denial reason from your letter. Then, provide the human context the algorithm couldn't see. Explain that a missed payment was tied to an isolated medical emergency, or offer to downgrade an existing card to reduce your credit limit. That context gives the analyst the justification they need to step in, bypass the automated parameters, and manually push your approval through. Algorithms dictate the initial gateway, but a human analyst holds the ultimate veto power, if you corner them with the right data and a logical explanation. The automated system is built to filter out anomalies, but you can navigate these gates by speaking the language the algorithms require. Subscribe to the channel for weekly breakdowns of financial glitches, exact reconsideration scripts, and step-by-step guides to scrubbing your Shadow credit reports.